Welcome to the Welsh Yogi podcast.
Okay, we're at another episode of Welsh Yogi podcast.
Hare Krishna.
So, I prepared something, but back to Rupa. Do you have something in mind you want to discuss?
I thought we'd just sit down and have a chat. It's been a while since we've just sat down
Yeah.
together, isn't it?
We'll have a sitting down episode, is it? How's it been, boys?
How have you been, Gopal?
How have I been? You asking?
I'm asking genuine.
Yeah, I think I've been good. There's always a lot going on. But I feel like I'm moving forward in spiritual life and life in general. I think I'm in a good place. Just got to make sure I don't mess it up. But, yeah, been reading some interesting things at the minute. We got a few things going on. Yeah, I'm starting to I go through waves of getting more and more appreciation when things seem a little bit stressful and you think, how are we going to do a certain project or task? I take solace from reminding myself that ultimately it all comes from the chanting. And then I become peaceful and I think, okay, if I'm not sure where to get a grasp, if I'm fumbling around a little bit in life, then I know, okay, I got to go focus on the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and everything will work out from there.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it? That's what Tarkanath just said in Sunday class, isn't it? Like the Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam.
Yeah. Chant anyway.
Chant anyway. Have you got that quote? That's worth listening. If someone wasn't at the class,
Yeah.
just go on.
By Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's one of his writings. I'll just read a bit of it. This is to do with chanting the Maha Mantra. Your mind is wandering all over the universe when you chant. Chant anyway. Your mind is wandering to the past and future when you chant. Chant anyway. You are not able to concentrate on Krishna's names while you chant. Chant anyway. You have no taste for chanting. Chant anyway. You have lusty desires. Chant anyway. You are making offenses in chanting. Chant anyway. You are not praying to Krishna to help you chant better. Chant anyway. You often chant late at night. Chant anyway. So I'll read this little bit as well because I think reading this carefully, this is quite powerful. So why? Why should you chant despite all the above obstacles? This is why. There is no vow like chanting the holy name, no knowledge superior to it, no meditation which comes anywhere near it, and it gives the highest result. No penance is equal to it, and nothing is as potent or as powerful as the holy name. Chanting is the greatest act of piety and supreme refuge. Even the words of the Vedas do not possess sufficient power to describe its magnitude. Chanting is the highest path to liberation, peace, and eternal life. It's the pinnacle of devotion, the heart's joyous proclivity and attraction, and the best form of remembrance of the Supreme Lord. The holy name has appeared solely for the benefit of the living entities as their Lord and Master, the supreme worshipful object, and their spiritual guide and mentor. Whoever continuously chants Lord Krishna's holy name, even in his sleep, can easily realize that the name is a direct manifestation of Krishna himself, in spite of the influences of Kali Yuga.
Pretty powerful, isn't it?
Pretty powerful, isn't it?
Because the Maha Mantra is like, we chant it every day, and like we've kind of made this kind of decision to chant every day. And then, but you never, for me anyway, I'm chanting it every day, doing the numbers, but never ever like actually looking at the mantra, like never paying attention to it. And then like maybe 2 weeks ago, I was just like, oh, what's this thing I'm doing? Like, what's this? And then you start listening to the mantra, and actually for a couple of mantras, couple of beads, you're actually chanting. And I just noticed from that minuscule a bit of attention on it, it's like my vision expanded and I started remembering Bhagavad Gita more. Just all in my day, these little instructions which I read so many times were popping in. You know what I mean? So it's like crazy how, like you say, powerful, and it's like just a bit of attention on it is.
It's experiential. I got another thing to share on this point, and then Prema, you see. But I've been reading Devamrita Swami's book, Searching for Vedic India, and there's a section which I was reading the other day about this. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I got it somewhere here. His name is, he's a Polish philosopher called Henryk Skolimowski. And he has this idea, he has this, he's coined this phrase, it's called the yoga of objectivity, right? So we use yoga a lot because we understand yoga means to link, the soul with the super soul, etc. But he's using it in terms of just a rigorous daily exercise that you become accustomed to. So he was describing how the modern approach, and we've all been trained like that since primary school, secondary school, when we want to approach science and knowledge, we've actually gone through these like regular training to approach things in a very cold and objective way. If I can understand something by put it on a table, dissecting it, cutting it open, mapping it out, the more I'm not personally involved in it, the better. That's more scientific. If that makes sense. So he's saying, but the way to understand spiritual life is actually you understand that you are part of the experiment. Have you ever wondered, this is Devamrita Swami speaking, have you ever wondered why there is no place in that world for the consciousness of the observer? The yoga of objectivity, trying to analyze things in a very detached way.
Sankhya, is it?
But even just modern, actually you could say that was Sankhya, yeah. Like the Vedic philosophy of Sankhya. But just modern day, just trying to work things out. This was what, like I was thinking when you were talking about the chanting. If someone was listening, trying to understand the chanting of the Maha Mantra, like why are these three people speaking about it and in such a far out way? And to really understand it, one has to try it. That's where I'm coming from. So have you ever wondered why there is no place in that world for the consciousness of the observer? We choose to remove ourselves, forcing on ourselves a severe detachment from what we observe. The greater the distance, the better. Cold, clinical analysis, objectivity is the precious experience sought. But here we go. This is but a suitable procedure when you investigate Vedic knowledge, like chanting Hare Krishna, would include tests for credibility, dependability, transferability, and confirmability. There must be an effective system of expert judges and vigilant consensual verification. In this way, the researcher could gain access to all the evidence in the cosmos. That means not just the cold, quantifiable data empiricists adore, but also the warm data, the subjective reports of inner exploration generated by erudite spiritual voyagers. So when we're talking about the chanting of Hare Krishna, some people might think, wow, this is very alien. And how do I really understand that? Because all they're experiencing is maybe our first-hand testimony and the sentences and words that are coming out of our mouths. But to be a real voyager of inner exploration, then you have to actually include, it's called the yoga of participation. And that's also becoming more and more accepted academically now. To really understand something, a culture, you have to immerse yourself in it. And this is what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. If you want to understand what I'm saying, then you have to really get involved.
Even
just
go on.
I was just thinking, like, in a world where almost everything is demanding that you dive in and spend your time in that pursuit, from someone's perspective, they might be thinking, how do I know that this investment of my time in the chanting is going to bear fruit? I think because up until this point in their life, they've been investing their time in so many fruitless endeavors. They may have kind of lost their eagerness to explore and to dive into different things. That perspective just came up to me.
I guess that's what we're saying. It's not a normal thing, isn't it? It's on another level. Like this isn't just some matter, some like elements, and like if I eat this type of food, it will feel good, or it's just like deeper. It's
and to that point is like you're saying, people do try so much stuff. We try things that are, we waste a lot of time as well, just scrolling through, just scrolling, etc. So there's that side of it. Like there's so much other stuff one could try. Mm-hmm. But you're right, people try so many things. Let's try this restaurant. Let's go here. Let's go there. And generally it's not, you're in the same realm of experience. So people do try so many things. And unfortunately, they're so very much disillusioned also with their previous, maybe empty, dry experiences of spiritual life and religion, perhaps. But we do try stuff. We're living beings in this world. We're human beings. And that's why we try different things. So we're saying, so you try stuff for maybe for petty reasons, just to try something different. Yeah. We're saying, try this and it'll blow your mind. Try this and you're going to experience a completely different reality. Everyone who's seriously tried it can't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like we've tried it and we've decided to shave all our hair off, start wearing paint and robes and dance around. That's mind blowing. That's a crazy experience in order to inspire someone to do that. And that's without any type of intoxication or, do you know what I mean? Without any sort of chemical stimulant. It's all natural. And to experience something different, something beyond the purview of our general senses and consciousness. People try all sorts of harmful poisons and drugs and crazy experiences and, have, near-death experiences, etc. Yeah. We're just saying, chant this mantra.
Just speak it.
And if you chant properly, and there's a science to do it, but even just, like we were saying, just chant anyway, no matter what, just experience it, then we're saying, the reward is much greater than even the small investment you have to take to try it. And then if you try it and nothing happens, fine. We would say, okay, let's look and see if you're trying properly in the proper conditions. But if you're not, at least you tried it, and then just move on to the next thing. Yeah. But to say like, oh, well, I'm trying so much stuff, so I don't want to try that. Yeah. It's like, okay, if that's true, you're really just trying all sorts of things. You've got a long list of stuff to try that this just chanting Hare Krishna just doesn't fit in anywhere. Then fair enough. But if you got 5 minutes, give it a go.
Yeah. It's deeper than that anyway. Like aham brahmasmi, innit? Like I am a spirit soul. Yeah. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. I'm like a spiritual being, like a conscious spark. And from my experience, when you chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, all of it comes uncovered and you actually get to see that. Yeah. Because so much of the way that most people live their life is they're just literally just following whatever their mind is telling them is what they like. And that's what I'm experiencing. Like I was in the ashram 5 years, moved out the ashram, and then I started following my mind, started following my senses, started going along with what I like. But now I'm doing it, I'm watching myself do it. Like I'm third person video gaming myself, like, wow, look, when I do this, it drags me down this route. When I do that, it unlocks these old desires. It's like you have a higher perspective.
Remember when Vaishesha, we were saying that he does this little brain trick to himself that he imagines that he's dead and he's come back? Yeah. Remember he said that? He said, because he had a friend who passed away recently, and then he just went through this thought experiment, and he says he does it sometimes. He imagines that he's died, like himself. So imagine you've died and you've come back and you're just observing your life. So you're observing what you do, like you're in the shower and you go downstairs and you do this. And what would you say to yourself? It does remind me when you were saying about that.
Yeah.
A third person, like.
And for me, it's real. It's like I'm just watching myself like playing games or watching I used to love Pokemon cards. I've got into Pokemon cards, everyone, sorry. But I'm watching myself in the shop.
He's selling, by
I'm
the way.
selling
Anyone wants
them.
to buy any Pokemon?
If anyone wants to sell their collection, come on down. But this is what I'm saying. I'm watching myself in the Pokemon shop, looking at the cards, watching myself have a reaction to that one because I had that one in the game. You know, it's like so it's like it's more than the normal experience. That's what I'm saying. It's chanting Hare Krishna literally elevates your consciousness to this idea, I am a spirit soul. It's the first thing Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Like, stop all this stuff that you're worrying about. This is all because you think that you're the body, you think that you're material. You're a spirit soul. You know, this is just, you're just acting, you're playing a role. Like, this isn't really who you are. So stop, don't worry. Now, this is how you can start to zoom out and get that third person perspective on your life. And then that's what the Bhagavad Gita is amazing. Like that second chapter, do your duty, but don't worry about the fruits of the actions. Don't worry about any results of it. Just do what you. It's like step by step how to take your soul and third person view it.
Yeah, and then you remember what Nikki was saying that they teach them in university, the standpoint that they teach about religious experience. Remember we had that discussion?
Yeah.
They say that your, I think you can explain that better than me. It's like your religious experience is like inside your paradigm, and therefore you're only experiencing things because they fit within the. Yeah,
she was bringing forward how her lecturer's view was that, well, the religious experience that you're having is just, if I can remember, I'll try and say it as best I can. So you have a certain, we might have a certain way we see the world, and then we're engaging activities, and then we mentally just reaffirm the spiritual experience to ourselves as like some sort of like a psychological, it's a psychological thing that we do in order to try and like convince ourselves that we're right, etc. And it's because of our own bias.
Stop! You're making me angry.
Well, so I told Nikki, that's really unfair, because actually, her lecturer saying she's the one who's doing that.
Arrogance.
Because they have a certain worldview, and they're just assuming that that spiritual experience must not be real because they're hung up in their own bias. Actually, we're the ones who are trying the different things. I mean, I didn't start off with a worldview of like Krishna's real. We just started to experiment and try the process, and we were staggered by the results. Therefore, however difficult it was and however awkward it was to go against society and the social norms, we did it because of the sheer power of that experience.
Yeah.
So it was really unfair. People do this. They say something, but you can do like a reverse Uno and actually no, you're just talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who has a worldview that just doesn't believe there's a God or a soul or whatever, and just are poo-pooing the genuine spiritual experience of those who are having it without trying it yourself.
Yeah.
The person who's in the better situation to make the decision is the person who has ignored any sort of bias and is actually trying to experience and gain knowledge through different experimentation. Not the person who sits on their armchair or on their keyboard and says, "Oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about." It's like, well, you have it.
It's classic pretending to be God. Like the whole reason we're here, Adam and Eve, whatever. Turn your back on God. I want to try out being God for a bit. And then you're saying stuff like, actually, all that stuff about God, I understand it. I can put it in a little box. I'm greater than that thing. It's actually just some kind of little... It's like classic ego, It just smells of ego.
Yeah, and there's that point where there's so many anomalies in their paradigm. There's so many things that don't fit in. And we're saying we've got a paradigm which actually accommodates for all of these things. And you can try and find something that doesn't fit in our paradigm. So which one's superior?
It's the superior worldview. Can I share one verse in purport with you guys?
Sure.
Please.
I was thinking though, before that, we should throw down the gauntlet. Like, if anyone's listening here who thinks that we're the ones being small-minded, they should come on and discuss it on the podcast, right?
Or like a live...
Like a little debate. Goodbye, you could be you're the top debater, T. Krishna debater, right?
Yeah, but I think sometimes the confrontation...
Yeah.
Like Krishna does say in the back, like there is a way to understand this knowledge, and it's tadvini prapadena prapashena svaya prachantit jnanam gaina tattvadarshana. This by submissive inquiry, and the first step of knowledge is humility. Now, we could debate for the benefit of others who are hearing the debate. But yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. I was just thinking of the views,
Yes, if someone's not ready to listen and to accept.
Because also, I think we should be in the mood to listen also. Because we might have our, we've got our first-hand experience and belief or whatever. But actually, there's a lot we can learn from other people and other religions and other people's life experience. And I'd like, whenever I meet other religious people, I always like to take time to hear and understand from them. I met one guy yesterday in Maidstone, and he was a follower of Christ, and he had really good vibes. But he was saying how he doesn't call himself a Christian, but he just tries to live the way that Jesus taught. And he was also really resonating with the stuff I was sharing with him from the Bhagavad Gita, and we developed this nice mutual relationship and understanding with each other. And I think that's the real sort of mutual religious or human experience that we can learn from. If someone's coming for a fight, never.
It does make sense, because me saying that is coming from a place of like, not everything's good in my life, so I want to have a fight with someone. Do you know what I'm saying?
That rata.
Like part of me is like, let's have a little scrap, because someone might be listening and think this is all one-sided.
Yeah.
And because we're just like making up this idea. I don't even know who that lecturer is. Yeah. And I just kind of just like talk down on them. You know what I'm saying? From Chinese whisper, kind of hearing about it.
Well, that's why you don't ever attack the person, you attack the idea. That's why Srila Prabhupada, even when he knew who Socrates was, who Plato was, these people. But even other leaders of Indian religion, they used to say like, oh, what do you think of such and such? And Prabhupada, even though Prabhupada knew who this person was, Prabhupada would always say, what is his philosophy? And then you'd hear the philosophy, and then Prabhupada would weigh it up and then either dismantle it or, like that. And it means you always should attack the idea, and for the benefit of actually helping each other grow, which is real religion. Which brings me to this.
Perfect.
Now. This is from the Bhagavatam, right? 6th canto, 16th chapter. Next, 41. I'll read the verse in purport. Verse. Being full of contradictions, all forms of religion, but Bhagavat Dharma, work under conceptions of fruitive results and distinctions of you and I, and yours and mine. The followers of Srimad Bhagavatam have no such consciousness. They are all Krishna conscious, thinking that they are Krishna's and Krishna is theirs. There are other low-class religious systems which are contemplated for the killing of enemies or the gain of mystic power, but such religious systems, being full of passion and envy, are impure and temporary. Because they are full of envy, they are full of irreligion. Purport. Bhagavat Dharma has no contradictions. Contradictions of your religion and my religion are completely absent from Bhagavat Dharma. Bhagavat Dharma is Krishna consciousness. Bhagavat Dharma means following the orders given by the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Pratyajamamikam Saranam Braja. God is one, and God is for everyone. Therefore, everyone must surrender to God. That is the pure conception of religion. Whatever God orders constitutes religion. Dharma tu shakshad bhagavat pranitam. In Bhagavat Dharma, there is no question of what you believe and what I believe. Everyone must believe in the Supreme Lord and carry out his orders. Anukulena Krishna Nushilanam. Whatever Krishna says, whatever God says, should be directly carried out. That is Dharma, religion. If one is actually Krishna conscious, he cannot have any enemies. Since his only engagement is to induce others to surrender to Krishna or God, how can he have enemies? If one advocates the Hindu religion, the Muslim religion, the Christian religion, this religion or that religion, there will be conflicts. History shows that the followers of religious systems without a clear conception of God have fought one another. There are many instances of this in human history, but systems of religion that do not concentrate upon service to the Supreme are temporary and cannot last for long because they are full of envy. There are many activities directed against such religious systems, and therefore one must give up the idea of my belief and your belief. Everyone should believe in God and surrender unto him. That is Bhagavad Dharma. Just 2 more paragraphs. Bhagavad Dharma is not a concocted sectarian belief, for it entails research to find how everything is connected with Krishna. Ishavashamidam sarvam. According to the Vedic injunctions, sarvam kalvidam Brahma. Brahman, the Supreme, is present in everything. Bhagavad Dharma captures this presence of the Supreme. So everything you do captures the presence of God in it. Bhagavad Dharma does not consider everything in the world to be false. Because everything emanates from the Supreme, nothing can be false. Everything has some use in the service of the Supreme. Excuse me. For example, we are now dictating into a microphone.
Very well.
And recording on a dictating machine.
On a pod track.
Or a podcast.
PodTrack P4.
PodTrack P4. And thus we are finding how the machine can be connected to the Supreme Brahman. Since we are using this machine in the service of the Lord, it is Brahman. This is the meaning of Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman because everything can be used for the service of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is mithya, false. Everything is factual. Bhagavad Dharma is called Sarvotkritsta, the best of all religious systems, because those who follow Bhagavad Dharma are not envious of anyone. Pure Bhagavatas, pure devotees, invite everyone without envy to join the Krishna consciousness movement. A devotee is therefore exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He is the friend of all living entities. Therefore, this is the best of all religious systems. Whereas so-called religions are meant for a particular type of person who believe in a particular way, such discrimination has no place in Krishna consciousness or Bhagavad Dharma. If we scrutinize the religious systems meant for worship of demigods or anyone else but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will find that they are full of envy and therefore impure. Shri Prabhupada Gi.
See, I'll be honest, I haven't read many other religious scriptures, but there's something in me that just feels that what we just heard, there's no way that anything close to that. It feels so sublime and exalted. I just really wonder if you can find exactly that anywhere else other than where we just heard it, I love how Prabhupada also uses, he's explaining the philosophy deeply, and then he zooms out into the example of the microphone.
Podcast, headphones, microphone. Looks material, but everything's Brahman if used for the pleasure of Brahman.
Yeah, he connects it exactly to how he's expanding the Krishna conscious movement, Nectar.
I guess that's the thing, Krishna consciousness is really about being in this world and acting in this world and moving around the world in a spiritualized way. Because I've read quite a lot of the Bible, and it part of it's really good. It's very emotional.
What's your favorite part? The Gospels?
I like the Old Testament.
Really?
Very Nishingadev, heavy, break the arm of the wicked. I like all that kind of, I just like the heavy metalness of it. But it's Prabhupada, the way that his books are, is very much to us now, at this time. And it's all about how to be practical and actually live a spiritual life. So it's that's what karma yoga is, isn't it? It's like acting in this world connected to Krishna. You can connect it all.
That's why, because you mentioned the Bhagavad Gita, and it is very fascinating how, because Krishna lays these things out in like you said, the second chapter. And it is the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is a overview. That's why it's contents of the Gita summarized, the chapter's name, right? Of everything in the Gita. But the fact that Arjuna is also asking questions to clarify what Krishna means, and Krishna is giving different types of yoga. And at one time, I think like the start of the 5th chapter, Arjuna says he's confused because Krishna uses this word like karma sannyas. Because karma can mean different things according to the context. But karma sannyas means like renouncing work. You renounce what you do, that's sannyas. And therefore, okay, so I should give up my duty. But then Krishna clarifies, no, karma sannyas means you give up attachment to the results of your work, but you still work in this world in order to perform your duty and for the purpose of purification. And Krishna says that's real sannyas, that's actual renunciation. Because we think in terms of like, if I'm interacting with the world, I'm material, and if I go off to the Himalayas and just aloof from everything, or even if I just join the ashram and become a monk, therefore I'm, renouncing. But Krishna's saying, no, you got to learn the art of work, learn real sannyas is that you do your duty, but you do it for Krishna. Yeah,
and it results in peacefulness. Like if you just try to quit your job and like, I think I did it at some point in the past, like quit your job, go on the dole, I'm spiritual now, I'm just going to work on spiritual things before you've even had any devotees. But like, it's like, you just get really freaked out in your head because you're like, what should I be doing? Like when you don't have something to do, you just go crazy. Like the devil makes work for idle hands. So it's like, actually, no, you just find something that you can do peacefully. Chant Hare Krishna. Do what you can. It's nice. It's peaceful. It's a happy life.
Yeah, Prabhupada says in the 18th chapter that if someone who's just going to a factory, working in a factory, or, they used to have Jayananda who used to drive a taxi. If such a person is doing these things for Krishna, they are the best of they're real sannyasis. They're real renunciants. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is very, very important book. It gets you to make spiritual emancipation domesticized, or whatever you say it.
Yeah. It's interesting because Lord Ram's all about Dharma, isn't he?
Yeah.
And like on Lord Ram's birthday, like I started working with Paul, like doing building work.
Shout out Paul.
Big up to Paul.
Big up Paul.
But yeah, we're like
very lovable guy.
We're doing like lime rendering, like lime, basically repointing an old house with some natural. Anyway, I'm just on the side of a scaffolding, just putting like this dirt in between the bricks, and just like supreme, like very tranquil and peaceful, and just happy that I'm doing my duty. Whereas like for the past couple of years, I've just been like, what is my duty? What should I be doing? Or should I be this? Should I be that? All this indecision and
like Arjuna.
Yeah, like Arjuna, like, oh, should I? It's like you kind of, your brain starts to malfunction, and then you just take
like Arjuna.
You drop your bow, you get on the video games. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Arjuna.
Like Arjuna. And then it's like, okay, actually, all I have to do is put some dirt on some bricks.
Something like that. That's something like that.
What is it?
I don't know that one.
You're grieving for us. Not,
you're mourning for what
those
is
who
not
are
worth.
wise lament neither for them nor for the dead. So Krishna says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then he speaks Bhagavad Gita, and again at the end he says, Master Chant. Look.
Yeah. And it's cool because there's no reason. Like, I was all on that. You have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Yep. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Karma. Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, you have the right to perform your prescribed duties. You're not entitled to any result from it. You're not the doer of the thing. And don't be lazy and do nothing. Like, that's all it is. It's just like, I'm just working. I don't even care about the money or any, you know what I mean? You just work. It's peaceful. You can be peaceful then. Because otherwise people are like, I need money. I need to get a bigger house. I need to just work and give up the attachment to that. I don't know. It's just something I've been feeling it. It's like, and then whatever result comes is just in the hands of God. It's like beyond your.
And that's why Krishna recommends that to Arjuna. Because but he also talks about karma sannyasa in terms of renouncing work as well. And he said they're both good for liberation. Like if you can do it, if you can go off and just meditate, then fine. One can attain liberation like that, but that's not what Krishna's recommending to Arjuna. Krishna's recommending this karma yoga, as Prabhupada calls the chapter, action in Krishna consciousness. So working, but thinking of Krishna, and then not being attached to the fruits, not being attached to results.
And then having that routine and waking up before you go to work, chanting your rounds, there's more a purpose for it. You know, it's like, if I chant my rounds, then my mind will be peaceful all day. It's like what do they call it? Bala mantra. It's like get strength from the mantra. It like gives you mental fortitude. So, you know, maybe I'm working with someone that hasn't chanted before, ever. Not Paul, but they're like freaking out.
Why is that? Because they're freaking out
just for whatever reason. Like people just freak out all the time. Everyone's freaking out. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not really freaking out. You know, something goes wrong, I'm just like, all right.
That's why this is part of life. Like that's why Krishna. Whereas there's a saying I heard the other day. It's a computer, they say it in computer game sayings, and they change the spelling of it, but it means something like "get good."
Get good.
Get good. Yeah. It came from like I don't know, Elder Scrolls or something, right? Anyway, something like "get good." So it's a saying that they use because people are like complaining, like, "Oh, this game's too hard," and then trying to find shortcuts in order to cheat and stuff. And then there's this mantra that's come out of the computer game playing community: "Get good." In other words, stop complaining, just work hard at it and get good at it. Yeah. You know, get good at the game, learn the game mechanics, level up or whatever, and just get good at it.
Yeah.
So it's like that with life. Like, okay, just get good. You know, get good, get into your chanting, get up early, just get good.
Bhagavad Gita is the game manual of life. Like all of the modes of material nature is like, oh, I feel rubbish today. Oh wait, it's because I'm influenced by the mode of ignorance, and I need to kind of elevate myself into a higher mode. Maybe I'll eat better food, and I'll, you know, you see the whole matrix for what it is right in front of you. So someone's freaking out next to you, and you're just like, they're influenced by the mode of ignorance. I should stay away from them. I shouldn't poke them. You know, you just learn how to like navigate this reality. I swear we're offering the cheat code.
Did you play games with the big game manuals that you could buy, the big game guides?
I only with
takes the fun out.
I had the guides, but I wasn't in, you know, come on.
I had to use it for, I think I had maybe for like some game that I found hard, like Zelda or something, like if I was stuck on something.
Yeah.
You're really stuck.
You know,
you can just be stuck forever, isn't
Paul.
it?
Yeah, and I get stuck on, like in Zelda Ocarina of Time, just the very first level.
Solid.
The very first, like before you even start playing the game. You know, and then just like that little, like.
The forest area.
Yeah, I couldn't even find like the simple like chest or something. It was like days on it. Like, sorry.
Paul was saying like back in the day, there was a phone number. And you phone them up, and they talk you through the game.
Really?
Yeah, and you pay them
Zelda
like
helpline.
You pay them 50p a minute or something, and there's just some guys, a professional. You're playing you're playing Pac-Man. Okay, what you want to? It's like full on guide through the game.
Have you seen a South Park episode? They were playing. What's it? World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Roll the clip.
Yeah. So you're playing Pac-Man. Yeah, if you just go up, down, left.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like when you got access to devotees and things, then it is a bit like that. It's like
you can always ring up your mentor.
Yeah,
ring
I'm
up
struggling.
Like I don't know how to get past this. I'm struggling today. Like
I said, because I rang Tatnaf recently. Like, what should I do for a job? Like, what should my thing be? And he's like, doesn't matter. Pick something. Do it. Be peaceful. Like that was literally it. It was like, I don't know whatever you want to do. Pick it. Do it. That was the advice. So it's like, okay, just do something.
Kind of sounds like a mafia boss.
He's been telling me that for 2 years, but just pick something and do it.
I was just thinking on the on the subject of like duty, you know,
juicy
duty.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
This is the real Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Focus.
Because something that comes up for me often is like the fear of making mistakes, you know, in the course of one's duty. And I think anyway, I don't want to go too into my mind, but I think I can kind of pinpoint where that fear has come from in earlier life and stuff. But recently I've been feeling that as long as I'm enthusiastic, that enthusiasm will naturally lead to purification because I have these things to work on. But the strength of that enthusiasm will, if I keep coming back to that sincere enthusiasm, then that will push me through any possible, mistakes that I make or any little hitches, and just be willing to, when they come, be willing to, okay, that's there. It's in the course of my duty that I'm going to become purified. And yeah.
Krishna says pretty much verbatim, he repeats only a couple of verses in the Bhagavad Gita, but one of them is, perform your duty, even though imperfectly, is better than performing someone else's duty, even though perfectly. And even any mistakes that are there in the discharge of one's duty is, in fact, it's expected. Part of being a conditioned soul is you're certain to commit mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes it perfect is that you're doing things for Krishna, and therefore everything becomes perfect. Mantradas Chintradashti Ram. It's a verse by Sukracharya in the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam. He says that, Lord, your chanting of your holy names makes everything completely faultless. He says there may be in the execution of sacrifices, there may be discrepancies, especially like these Brahminical Hindu priests. Everything has to be perfect. Although now, I was with Anagasuri Prabhu and they were saying he has a Hindu family and they bring a priest in, and so many times the priest is just like, chanting some verses, and Anagasuri's like calling, where's that verse from? He's like, oh, it's from Bhagavad Gita. And he's like, it's not from Bhagavad Gita. I know Bhagavad Gita. Or like we're in another temple recently and Brahman was saying stuff, and one of our devotees, Vamsi, was saying, what's that mean? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So these days, okay. But anyway, traditional smarta Brahman is everything has to be perfect. Time of day, all the ingredients pure, everything has to be, mantras pronounced perfectly. Sukracharya says if even if there's some discrepancy in any of the items when one's performing some sort of sacrifice or work, everything becomes completely faultless if it's assisted by the chanting of your holy name.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so amazing, because out there, without Krishna consciousness in the material world, the fear is that any discrepancy I make could lead to my ultimate doom in this world, because, one mistake could lead to another. And, if I end up dying, then that's it. That's game over. That's it, So I think that's like where that fear...
Is that what you were like before? You wanted to live, everything has to be perfect type thing? Is that your...
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Just this like fear of getting things wrong.
I'm trying to find a verse that you're making me remember. Sorry, I am listening.
They say, when you feel the fear, then you know the devil is near.
Because it's like, you think, when you've made a mistake, sometimes it just feels like the mind starts saying all these things like, oh, this is it for you, buddy. How long are you going to, be able to hold, it starts bringing up all these arguments like, okay, this is basically the enemy. It just brings up all these points. And, that can be intense to deal with, but I'm really finding that enthusiasm is that enthusiasm back into the chanting, that being the ultimate shelter.
Do you have the same fear, Gopal, about messing up? I'm trying to think if I do.
I think I need to be more fearful of messing up.
Yeah.
I think I feel regretful if I do mess up, but I do take a lot of I think that's why it's so important to take heart from Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, because a lot of what we talked about this before, but psychologically, the sort of narration that goes in on our head might be what we think God will think of us, or we have our own sort of like narrative going on. Oh, if I do this, then God, or if it's not God, then it would be whoever you hold most high in your eyes. So for kids, it'll be parents or something, so they'll be like, or a teacher or
your boss.
Yeah. Oh no, if I mess up, then this is what they'll think of me. And then one gets...
Yeah, they'll get upset.
Yeah, and it can cause actual deep psychological problems. because one starts to then isolate themselves, like, oh my God, I either a fear of making a mistake, or then one starts to isolate themselves, and then one starts to have difficulty. Like Pragosh Prabhu, our GBC, he was giving the story that, I can't remember it properly, someone was telling it the other day, but a man has a fox in his jacket. And there was nothing wrong with having a fox in this, wherever he was. There's nothing wrong with having a fox in your jacket, by the way. But he was just shy, he didn't want to tell anyone.
Oh.
So he was just walking around with this fox in his jacket, but what started happening, the fox started scratching him and eating him. Yeah. And all he had to do was say, oh, everyone, I got a fox in my jacket, just let it go, and not, he was like, oh, he's got a fox in his jacket. But the fact that he just was scared to tell anyone, scared of the judgment that might come, or the reactions, or then it ended up eating, hurting him. I don't know if I ate him alive or not. It's just a story, but
That false ego. I don't have a fox in my jacket. Like,
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
I don't,
And you worry that if I tell anyone I do, because it might not be a big thing, but you think it is. Therefore, and then also that psychologically comes out in other ways, like, it might be consciously or even subconsciously. You start thinking, well, don't look at me, look at him over there.
Yeah.
He's probably got something in his jacket, And then you start fault finding, and this is very common in any sort of religious institutions with a high standard, and you get it in communities of monks and nuns or whatever, that they start like fighting each other, swapping minor for major virtues, and picking out faults in each other, because it's so difficult to be honest with ourselves where we're at, and also be able to be accepted by each other.
It's making me think of that Kamini Vadikaras verse again as well. Like, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if you do mess up, Krishna, like, it wasn't you that like, you have to mess up. Like, if you don't mess up, you have to mess up. Like,
and Krishna, because you brought up a point as well. I said when I was thinking of joining the ashram full time, I was speaking to Tarkanath, and I was thinking, well, what if? Because I was going to study, and I was like, I was learning things, and I was, and I was sort of building myself up for future career, for example. And I was thinking, like, what if I give this up, and I go into Krishna consciousness? But what if I stop Krishna consciousness in 3 years? Then I would have not completed Krishna consciousness, not been a devotee, and I would have wasted these 3 years and not completed my learning for my career. So, and then Tantra points out that Arjuna had the same doubt.
Same doubt, yeah.
In the Bhagavad Gita.
Riven Cloud.
Yeah.
Riven Cloud, perish.
He said, what if then I don't win either way? Krishna says, no. In the second chapter, is that famous verse, Nehe Prakano Nastosti. There is no loss or diminution in this path. You never lose anything. So even if there's some mistake or some fault, and again in the 9th chapter, Abhishet Tudratra Bhajatem Mammananyabak, that he's a sadhu, is such a person that is, even if he can, and Krishna says the most abominable activity, even if he does something really terrible, if he just picks himself up and just carries on and sincerely tries, then that person should be considered saintly.
So chant anyway.
Right?
Yeah. Nice. You just
Go on.
No, I was just thinking, like, I was speaking to a Christian preacher on the street the other day,
Oh yeah, here we go.
and I just quoted some Sanskrit to her, and she just stopped me. She goes, "That is terrible preaching." She was like, "I don't know what you said. Why you say this Sanskrit to me?" She was fully like, "That is terrible. Never do that." I was just like, "Oh, fine."
We were in Canterbury. There's this lady, and she's been there for a while. Well, there was always been a lady there in Canterbury. This is a different lady, so it must be her successor or something. And she sits with this table with these like really like badly drawn big paintings.
Oh, I've seen them
of Jesus.
They're quite good, to be fair.
We said to each other. I said they were bad. I mean, Gauranga Gopal, and then we thought, but Bhakti Rupa probably think they're
Yeah,
good.
they were sick. I've seen them before. She puts gold leaf on them. They look
and
rubbish,
there's like a little
but they're
gold.
amazing.
There's a little gold leaf like cross that she's put up, And now she was also wearing like this little plastic golden crown and this big like cape, like a, you know, like a sort of like a king would wear with like the fluffy bit. And she's playing this music and she looks wild, you know? And then she was having a go at back to Joel, saying, why you stop me? But you're making people, no one's coming up to me because of you. And Joel was like, I don't think it's because of me. Anyway, sorry.
Did she was the one who threw a pie in his face?
No, pie. No, that was me. It wasn't a pie. It was shaving foam.
You can roll that.
Okay.
Roll clip.
Roll that footage.
Oh yeah.
Roll clip.
Bing.
The art is good though.
I mean, we got.
I like art brute. I like naive art. Anyway,
You like naive art, innit?
Yeah.
Like a cat.
I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
It's haunting.
Anyway.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It's been a wonderful episode of Welsh Yogi Podcast.
Chant anyway.
Chant anyway.
Chant
Okay, so-
and
Dance. Chant and dance.
Can that be our outro song?
we should ask Kelly if we can
Chant
use it.
and dance. I mean, if he sues us for this, then I swear to God, like.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti